The Morita Assault Rifle, often called the Morita I, is the iconic standard issue firearm for the Mobile Infantry during the First Bug War, and it briefly appears in the Second Bug War too, but only to get replaced by a younger and hotter model. Better model. Despite the occasional use of the other weapons in different units, the Morita remains the go-to rifle right up until the Mobile Infantry produces power suits. Troopers rely on it to mow down swarms of Arachnid Warrior Bugs in brutal conflicts on far-flung planets. Yet, it sometimes struggles to punch through those hardened exoskeletons, though that might be because of the poor training and use of the troops more than any design flaw. Either way, the Morita sets the benchmark for bug-blasting hardware in the Starship Troopers universe. Now, the original Morita had 3 variants, with slight changes. Out of these, the original Morita Assault Rifle and the Mark I variants had 3 types, while the Mark II version had 4. In this video, we'll explore these before getting into the Morita II, Morita III, and Morita Smart Rifles. But before I begin, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. These 2 small clicks from you will help us tremendously in bringing you these marvelous videos. The original versions. In the original Starship Troopers film, the production team spliced together real-world guns to build the functional Moritas. Full auto variants housed a Ruger AC-556K chambered in 5.56mm NATO, plus an Ithaca M37 12-gauge shotgun for the underslung portion. Semi-auto Moritas used a Ruger Mini 1.4 with the same shotgun. Carbine versions skipped the shotgun altogether and only housed the Mini 1.4. Rock Galati, who worked on the props, mentioned that the Morita was supposed to feature a digital ammo counter and basic iron sights on the carry handle, but time and budget constraints prevented these additions from making it into the final build. The rifle's bullpup configuration, where the action and magazine sit behind the trigger, keeps the overall length manageable while preserving a decent barrel size. Troopers can toggle semi-auto or fully automatic fire modes, which helps them switch from cautious bursts to full-on bug blasting, depending on the situation. As I was saying earlier, the original Morita design has 3 versions. The standard rifle with an underbarrel shotgun, a scoped variant with the same shotgun but sporting a large scope, and a carbine variant with a compact barrel and no shotgun. A. The standard assault rifle. This standard Morita usually ends up in the hands of most cap troopers. It offers a classic assault rifle layout up top, plus a pump-action shotgun beneath the barrel for nasty close-quarter surprises. Many troopers go into the field with this all-in-one death machine, especially in the early stages of the First Bug War, though it doesn't always guarantee a quick kill against those monstrous warrior bugs. B. The scoped variant. When Mobile Infantry squads require a designated marksman, they hand out the scoped Morita. It's essentially the same rifle with the same underslung shotgun, but the big honkin' scope on top gives it greater accuracy at mid to long ranges. A trooper perched on a catwalk or rocky outcrop can pick off bugs from afar, then pivot to the shotgun if a threat rushes in up close. C. The carbine variant. Officers, security forces, and flight crews often prefer the Morita carbine for its shorter barrel and lighter frame. You won't see that underbarrel shotgun here, which helps keep the weapon's length down. You'll spot these carbines stashed in fleet escape pods for emergency landings. They pack a nice punch without weighing troopers down when they're sprinting or navigating tight corridors. Next up, we have the 4 Morita Mark II versions. Mark II versions. 5 years after the disastrous Battle of Klendathu, the Mobile Infantry released a refreshed suite of Moritas called the Mark II. These new versions appear during the Battle of Hesperus. They feature slight enhancements for better armor penetration, helpful when you've got waves of upgraded arachnids swarming your lines. This one has 4 variants. A. Morita Mark II Scatter. This is a standard Mark II, and it mostly mirrors the original layout. Assault rifle plus an underbarrel shotgun. The design amps up the penetration power for chipping away at the thicker shells some arachnids evolved later in the war. Veterans describe it as old-fashioned, but it does the job. B. Morita Mark II Carbine. Intended as a pilot's sidearm, this version shortens the barrel even further and sacrifices some range in the process. It has a secondary fire mode that ramps up the rate of fire for frantic close-range flights. While it's not ideal if you're pinned down on a wide open battlefield, it's pretty handy in tight spaces on starships or in narrow bug tunnels. C. Morita Mark II Scope. This design focuses on accuracy and long-range damage. Gone is the underslung shotgun, replaced by a mounted scope and a narrower magazine that reduces recoil. The rifle also dials back its rate of fire, so the user stays on target more easily. It's a designated marksman rifle for that second-generation bug threat, especially if an officer needs pinpoint shots to drop those monstrous tankers or plasma bugs. D. Morita Mark II Grenade. The biggest upgrade in the Mark II lineup is this variant that exchanges the shotgun for a grenade launcher. It also trades short-range stopping power for splash damage, letting troopers lob grenades at medium-range clusters of bugs. This approach helps break up arachnid formations, especially if the bugs are crawling over hillsides in large numbers. Lastly, we got the Mark I version. Mark I versions and the Deep Space Vanguard. Troopers in the Deep Space Vanguard use a line of Moritas called Mark I. These rifles sit somewhere between the original Morita and the Mark II designs, incorporating small upgrades, like iron sights on the top rail. The biggest difference is that the Mark I focuses more on reliability and balanced performance. A. Morita Mark I. A simple but effective assault rifle with dependable firepower. It serves as a mainstay for the Vanguard in countless deep space missions. The design suits mid-range combat well and holds up under harsh environments. B. Morita Mark I Carbine. A compact edition of the Mark I that fires at a higher cyclic rate. The shorter barrel complements close-quarters engagements in cramped bunkers or twisting bug tunnels. The Vanguard loves them for boarding actions and emergency landings. C. TW-202L Morita Hawkeye. This one is a specialized DMR that fires heavier rounds and staggers enemies with each shot. It's semi-automatic, so troopers can't just spam the trigger, but each round hits with extra force. When the Vanguard wants to knock down a big bug before it closes the gap, the Hawkeye becomes the obvious choice. And now, we can dive into Morita II, Morita III, and the Smart variant. Morita II Assault Rifle. Please note, the Second Battle of Klendathu is not the same as the Battle of Hesperus, where Morita Mark II was used. The Morita II is a newer model, designed for medium to long-range fire support, though it's less effective in close combat. It features an assault rifle on top and a powerful grenade launcher underneath, giving it an explosive edge when troopers face heavier arachnids. Official propaganda videos show the Morita II before the Second Battle of Klendathu, but the rifle never fully replaces the Morita I in service. Instead, squads receive a few Morita II units, especially when bigger, scarier bugs, like tiger bugs, start appearing. Early in the Second Bug War, the MI continues to hand out Morita Is, so the Morita II only finds a home in specialized roles. It never truly goes mainstream because the Morita III arrives on the scene soon after, providing an even bigger boost in stopping power. Still, the Morita II leaves a fascinating impression. Some frames from movie footage suggest it fires a blue streak from the upper barrel, which might indicate an energy or railgun-style secondary fire mode. One version of the screenplay refers to the Morita II as a prototype that vaporizes the top of a mountain, again, hinting at something beyond basic ballistics. The on-screen prop for the Morita II is a non-firing fabrication made of vacuum-formed plastic, aluminum, and resin. No real firearm sits inside. This allows for bigger, bolder design choices without the constraints of matching real gun dimensions exactly. Morita III Assault Rifle. The Morita III came into use during the Second Bug War. Submarine and mobile infantry units, along with Terran Command security forces, receive these rifles to gain an edge against increasingly vicious arachnids. Despite strong penetration ability, the Morita III's bulky frame can frustrate soldiers who crave more agility. Tactical officers see it as a godsend for blowing big holes in warrior bugs, but frontline grunts often stick with older Moritas until supply lines catch up. Many troopers spot the Morita III at the Battle of Kwalasha. When they do, they note its rotating breech electronic pulse system, which ignites caseless 10mm ammo. It also packs a 30mm grenade launcher with its own gas-operated, electronically primed mechanism. The rifle's top range reaches around 1,500 meters, and the grenade launcher extends your lethal reach to about 180 meters. That's a serious distance for bug-busting duty. Behind the scenes, the Morita III prop is based on the South African Vector R4-R5 rifle. in turn derived from Israel's Galil, which itself stems from the AK-47 family. Spent casings visibly eject during filming, which might be an oversight, or simply a nod to how the real rifle inside behaves. Some fans compare the Morita III to the M41A pulse rifle from Aliens, given the electric pulse ignition, caseless ammo, and a built-in launcher. The Morita III eventually gets phased out by the Morita Mark IV once the Mobile Infantry deploys advanced power suits. Those suits require weaponry that integrates seamlessly with built-in heads-up displays and targeting systems. Morita Smart Rifle. The Morita Smart Rifle appears in the animated series Roughnecks, Starship Troopers Chronicles, and in Starship Troopers, the role-playing game, under the name Morita TW-203A Assault Rifle. Technically, it belongs to Strategically Integrated Coalition of Nations, or SICON, which deals with the Arachnid War in a slightly different continuity. This version features broad compatibility with all kinds of specialized ammo, explosive shells, armor-piercing rounds, plasma rockets, antimatter grenades, javelin missiles, and even lasers. The average rifle includes an underbarrel launcher for grenades or other exotic rounds, and a visible ammo counter helps troopers track how many shots they have left. SICON troopers appreciate the Smart Rifle's incredible versatility. It can function underwater or in low oxygen environments, which opens up plenty of tactical possibilities. Fleet pilots often use a carbine variant with a smaller frame. The SMART part presumably refers to its advanced targeting and flexible ammo loadouts, which let the operator choose from a menu of destructive options. This rifle shares a conceptual link with other Morita designs, but exists in its own timeline, separate from the main United Citizen Federation storyline. Marvelous conclusion. Humanity's war against the Arachnids hinge on constant adaptation. The Federation invests heavily in new rifle designs, hoping each iteration reduces trooper casualties and shortens messy campaigns on bug-infested worlds. The Morita line remains a symbol of that tenacity. It's not the flashiest piece of future tech, but it's rugged, recognizable, and always up for a fight. The Morita I earned its legendary status during the first onslaught of bugs, and the Federation's attempt to replace or upgrade it have met with mixed results. The Morita II adds extra firepower with a grenade launcher and maybe even an energy-based blast, but it never dominates frontline service. The Morita III ramps up the firepower further, though it never fully displaces older models before the introduction of the power suit and the Morita Mark IV. Meanwhile, in certain offshoots of the Starship Troopers universe, the Morita Smart Rifle showcases fancy features like multi-environment use and a range of specialized ammo. In short, the Morita stands for flexibility and brute force. When the bugs swarm across an outpost or a colony world, troopers rely on these rifles to hold the line. Whether it's the classic underslung shotgun, a potent grenade launcher, or a spiffy digital readout telling you how many rounds remain, the Morita name is synonymous with "Don't mess with Earth." Despite new versions and the occasional shift to advanced power suits, the Morita tradition lives on as a backbone of the Mobile Infantry, representing humanity's will to adapt, overcome, and blast bugs back to the pits they crawled out of. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe, and thanks everyone.